I am redoing a video I did long time ago, and a lot of people have viewed it. So I thought I would, after all this time, I would update it a little bit and be more, show the tools. And hold on a second. So reviewing the tools. Sometimes people say, "Hey, Lisa, how do I clean my wheelchair?" And you can use the same tools on your walker if you wanted to. And so here it goes. I just wanted to show a little bit of what I use to keep up my wheelchair for it to be looking clean and presentable. So the one thing that I was advised to use is Dawn. So, if your wheelchair is really dirty, can take a bucket of ice cream, the ice cream buckets that you have laying around, or a little bucket, and just a few drops of this in some water, about a quarter of a bucket, and a few drops of it. Don't make it too soapy. So you don't want to make it too soapy. So, and then a rag that is not fuzzy. So a rag that is not fuzzy um, because then you'll have fuzzies all over your wheelchair. So an old rag, so it's not fuzzy. So then you might say, well, Lisa, I clean my wheelchair and I really keep it clean, but, I have these scrape marks on the sides. Sometimes I bump into things. And that happens to me too, because, sometimes I'm tired, I'm not looking where I'm going, and I'll scrape a wall, scrape something a little bit. So, and then I have those white marks on the side of my wheelchair. So what I do is that I take a Sharpie, a permanent Sharpie. I don't know where I put my older Sharpie. And I just went over my wheelchair and I just fill in the parts that are white. So it's a permanent marker. This one is from Guatemala, so ignore this one. But I can't find the one I use every day. So permanent marker, black marker, or whatever color your wheelchair is, and just fill in those little spots where you've scraped. So and I have a gray one too for those little spots that are gray, and I fill in. So, a heavy duty permanent marker, it can be the oily kind, industrial kind too. So you don't want to have too many of these because they do dry up. So just have like one or two at a time because they do get old and they'll dry up on you and then it's useless. So I just have one or two. And for the times I lose the other one. So the other thing is, if you don't want to use Dawn, you can use, those handy wipes that are really soft. So the key with cleaning a wheelchair is not to use anything abrasive, any harsh chemicals, because that will remove the paint and the oils from the wheelchair and ruin its presentation. So nothing harsh. So that's why I use Dawn. When I'm really going to clean the wheelchair, then I use a little bucket, a little bit of Dawn, and my old rag here, and I go over the wheelchair. Now, you might say, well, Lisa, I can't do it, either because you're quadriplegic or you have issues with your hands or because the energy or the pain that it might cause you. So you might have to hire somebody to do it for you. The other day, I'm going to tell you a little story. The other day, I had to go get the bus and I had to go do an errand at one of the stores up the street. So I was going on the sidewalk and I had to scoot around something. I can't remember what it was, but I had to scoot around, whether it was a rock or whatever it was. But my tires on the right side of my wheelchair slipped off the sidewalk and went into the grass of this building. So I thought, oh, not a problem. I will just, pop back on the sidewalk. Well, it didn't do that. It just sunk into the mud because it had been raining so much here. So I thought, oh, I'll do it real quick and it'll pop. Well, it didn't because it flipped the wheelchair the other direction. And now my two front casters and my side wheel, my mid wheel, were in the mud and sinking. I just happened to see a guy who was working on the lawn and he was just about to leave, and I flagged him down and I said, hey, I just fell off the sidewalk here and I'm sinking. So he quickly jumped out of his truck and just, I don't know, he had the strength of Hercules and picked up my wheelchair and boom, put it back on the sidewalk and saved the day. However, my wheels were full of mud. So when I got to the other end where I was going, I did some donuts in the parking lot. People are probably looking at me like, what's wrong with this woman? And I was doing donuts to get the mud off of my wheels. And I found this piece of squashed can on the side, on the parking lot. So I was scraping the mud off of my wheels because I didn't want to go in the store with my wheels full of mud. But the thing is, when I got back home, the question is, how do I get this off so I don't mark up the whole entire house? So one of our members who's physically able-bodied, I asked her if she would help me with my tires because they were just a mess. And now the mud was drying up and falling off the tires and making a mess all over the place. So she said, sure, Lisa, I'll do that for you. So I drove the wheelchair out to the side door and parked it. And she took a bucket. I said, be careful with the motor, blah, blah, blah. So we went all over that. She said, no, I'll use a rag, So she went at it with a scrubby and with a rag, and she sterilized those wheels, I swear. They were so clean. So we waited for the wheelchair wheels to dry up, and then I was able to come back in. But, oh, my goodness. So, yeah, never do a mud expedition because that's hard to get off. So somebody had to clean my wheels for me because that's an area that I really can't do. So I just keep my wheels clean. And even when I'm coming back in, I kind of spin around a few times on the rug at the entrance and to get off some of the dirt or sand or whatever got caught on the wheels. And then I come in. But the mud I had the other day was just awful. So the recommendation is that Lisa not play around in the mud with her wheelchair. I had all these ideas of me having to crawl off my wheelchair and swim out of the mud and get back onto the sidewalk. Have to call for 911. Oh, my goodness. No, thank goodness the guy was there and pulled me out. But so those are the things you want to do when you clean your wheelchair, and things you want to avoid like mud. But yeah, for Sharpies, don't buy too many at once. Not sure what happened to the end of the video, but it got all scratchy, some kind of interference. It was really weird. But anyway, truly, if you are susceptible, flies. No, not to flies. If you are susceptible to bacteria and to other germs, feel free to clean the armrests of your wheelchair often. So especially when you come back from a clinic or a hospital, wipe them down so that, the germs don't remain there and affect you. So that's all I had. I'm hoping that the end of this video will sound much better. There's some kind of interference, electronic interference. So I'm redoing this little piece. But if you have any questions really about cleaning your power wheelchair, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about that. Do keep your wheelchair clean so it's presentable anywhere you go. And I'm hoping to see you soon. We will be doing, hopefully, a video about a special apparatus I found in Abilities Expo. So hopefully we'll do that one in conjunction with the people who are involved with this specialized apparatus, really directed towards quadriplegics and people who might have had a stroke. So we'll see when we can put it together. I don't want to give away too much because it's a good surprise and a good materials for those in need. So stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you, all of you, in the next video.